What's going on, guys? Smart Millie here, and welcome to episode 11 of our season 2 of Motorsport Manager Rebuilding Ferrari F1 2020 mod series. Okay, so welcome back. Today we've got the Red Bull Ring. Obviously, our suspension's done in 9 days, so it probably won't come through for Austria, but that's fine. I mean, it'll be here, but we've got to work on the reliability. You know how it is. So we're currently working on the reliability of a gearbox, which isn't really needed for a Red Bull Ring or the next one, but it is using the Hungaroring, so. And it's going to be a rainy Hungaroring as well, so that might be a little bit of a race to look forward to if you have a look at the forecast. But yeah, just looking in the future. But right now we've got the Red Bull Ring. Yeah, it's alright. I mean, I don't know how we'll go because our suspension's not up there, but I think we got a decent, we got the best front wing and we got decent brakes, so we might be alright. But I'm just going to obviously advance forward here till this gearbox is done, and maybe we can send the suspension around. Halfway through the season, the mechanics go really well. They really pick up the pace. So hopefully that benefits us a lot. If we just advance a little bit forward here, and it'll be done. Alright, so let's try and get the suspension turned around now. 40%, oh, I don't think it's going to get turned around, but we can repair it throughout the race. Do we need a suspension around here? Yeah, I think we're going to just try and get it up a little bit, and then hopefully we can repair it in the race, because it's obviously a free repair. Choosing a vote. So we do have the option to choose a vote now, which is pretty exciting. We'll have a quick look. Now, what was something I want to do? I sort of wanted to look at maybe having less. Oh, it's very high. Nah, we'll keep it. Double points for the final race of the season. I think that's something I really want to look into. I mean, why not even continue the series next year? But I think we're going to do that one. Full course caution. Now, let's do that. Double points for the final race of the season could be a bit exciting. I mean, it won't benefit us because we're a traditional team, but we're going to do it anyway. There we go. Just to add a bit of fireworks for that Abu Dhabi race. I'm pretty sure they used to have double points in the last race of the season, didn't they? I'm not really sure. That suspension's fine. We're going to chuck that on a car. We need it, and we can repair it throughout the race. So, we'll give it to Charles just because it's a dodgy part. Nah, give it to Ricardo. I don't want to dog Charles that bad. This time he actually gets the better end of the stick here because 100% reliability and it's one performance worse, but it's fine. We give it to Danny Rick. That's what we've been doing all season. We can't change it up just because it benefits Danny Rick, but well, we're already here. That was so quick. Alright, so I'll see you for Q3, obviously. I'll do practice, Q1, Q2. Hopefully it's pretty routine. There's not much weather, so it should be pretty routine, and I'll see you for qualifying 3. Okay, that is Q1 and 2 and practice done here, and yeah, routine like usual. We actually got a bit of pace this weekend. This is the track that we do actually like, and we do occasionally do well here. Obviously, at the start of the season it was a bit concerning because we didn't do that well. But hopefully have a better race this time around. So, yeah, we've all seen this. This is about the 10th time we've raced it in the series alone, I think. Hopefully we can get 3 runs out here, but we're going to have to go out pretty quick. Obviously, just the 2 runs. We've pretty much got perfect setups apart from Danny Rick's speed balance, but I'm not really in the mood for tweaking in Q3, so we'll just leave it as it is. It's still probably high 90s, so that's all we really need. So, yeah. Also, we're sort of at a crossroads in the season. I obviously forgot to design a new part when the other one was done. I was too busy trying to turn it around for the race. But we've got to start thinking, are we going to keep developing parts for this season, or do we put our efforts towards next season? Because it is that time. And I honestly think we should keep it going this season, because we're sort of in the race. I'm pretty sure we're a couple points off the top. So if we keep developing parts, who knows, we could be in a really good spot to win it. The championship. But I know that if we also develop parts for next year, we'll walk the championship next year. So it's all about whether we want to attack it this season or we want to start looking towards next season. I think I'm going to work towards this season because then we have to do a whole nother season in the series. It's not as impressive rebuilding Ferrari in 3 seasons than it is in 2. So I think we're going to give it a red hot go, keep developing parts to Abu Dhabi, and then just deal with the car or whatever it is next season and trying to go again. But yeah, that's sort of the crossroads where I'm at now, as we're getting towards the end of the season. We've got about 10 races after this one, and the boys won't be able to go out again. So 3rd and 6th at the moment. We're so close to pole. That's not bad, but Verstappen and Hamilton all on laps now. So at Bottas and Albon. Albon's looking like improving, and he pushes us off the front 3. And Verstappen's on pole, Albon on 3rd. The Mercedes don't look too fast this weekend, but faster than us nonetheless. That's a pretty Normal top 6. We've got the Renaults right behind us. Those Renaults just won't go away. Fair play to them. But a pretty low-key Q3 there, just the 2 laps. Could have quite forced out the 3rd lap. But yeah, it's race time now. With Danny Rick, I've already thought about this. We're going to put on Super Soft and car condition. Or do we do race trim, car condition? No, Super Soft. Just because it's only 10% anyway, and we got that suspension on the car. Going to do Super Soft and race trim for Leclerc. Setup's fine. Attack, overtake, overtake, attack. Start race. We need that slingshot start that we've seen so many times this season. Riding on board Danny Rick here. We need him to have a good race. He needs to catch up a little bit. Oh, it's not a great start. It's not a bad start here. All over the back of the Merc. Merc's going to get by though. And we're fighting with Leclerc here. Careful, boys. We want to get through this first lap of this race. There haven't been that many collisions this year, so I think we're fine. Leclerc's been pushed out there big time. He's down into 9th, which isn't great. Ricciardo's pushing the podium, but with the Red Bulls in top 2, they're going to just pull away. We're fighting with Hamilton here. But we're getting up to 3rd there. Beautifully done. We're going to go into neutral now as the tyres reach temperature. Keep it going on the fuel as Hamilton takes his spot back. Leclerc's starting to fight his way back through the field. There's a Renault. The Renault of Alonso is right behind us. Bottas is behind him. Ricciardo's struggling to overtake Hamilton. We can see that on the track, mate. You don't need to say it on the radio. But 70 laps here. That's a lot of laps. We're probably going to have to 2-stop it, but that's fine because we'll repair his suspension anyway. We're not touching the medium tyre. We know that. But hopefully we can get past Hamilton here, but I don't think we will. So, oh no, we did. What happened to Hamilton? We just sort of slingshot past him. Sorry, I was going too quick. I missed that. It looked like we were way behind him, and then all of a sudden said, that was awesome, guys. Thanks. And we'll pass him. But anyway, up in a P3 here, chasing down Alex Albon. Verstappen's already 4 seconds out in front. Leclerc's struggling to get past Alonso. We're going to tell him to cool down on the fuel a little bit. Ricciardo can keep pushing that engine as hard as he wants because he's in a good spot. We can always save fuel later, but we're going to get Ricciardo as far out in front of Hamilton as possible. Work that engine nice and hard. Hopefully Leclerc can get past Alonso. Maybe we can undercut Alonso a little bit because Alonso just does like to go on the old mediums. So we should be alright. If anyone gets on, we can't really tell you to push any harder, or else the tyres will overheat. I'm going to tell him to cool it in the engine a little bit now. Just let Hamilton go. It doesn't look like we're that fast this weekend. We're close to him in Q3, we all saw that, but it looks like Verstappen's pretty much won this race already. He is miles out in front with his teammate behind him. That is pretty... Red Bull have got this race covered. They're going to be our biggest threats this season. As you can see there, wow, they're in a great spot right now. If they can finish like this, we might have to... Well, we're still in the fight for 2nd either way, so... hopefully we can keep it competitive to the first, but we do play this track quite a bit, and if Red Bull are this strong... But look at the tyre wear actually. They've absolutely smashed these tyres in as Albon pits. Hopefully we can get ahead of him. We're going to just pit next and go on to another set of super softs because it is going to be a 2-stopper. We're going to fix this suspension, may as well. There's no downside to fixing it. It doesn't take longer or anything. Box in, and we'll get Leclerc in as well onto another set of super softs. They're on the same strategy. May as well. Save, pit. Any part condition that needs looking at? Nah, we're fine. Do we split the strategies? Go on super softs and finish. Go on the softs, finish on super softs? Nah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. But Ricciardo's in the pits. We're gonna have a double stack here. Jump on board Leclerc. Watch the pit stops. Good pit stop. 2.1. And what is it here? 2.1. That is our pit crew in the best possible light there. Beautifully done by the pit crew. Good on them. But we've sort of been smashed out of the pit here by Albon. But we get past him. Beautifully done. Hopefully don't lose too much time on the Mercs, but that's always a possibility. And tyres overheated already. Not great. Not great there. That's fine. Get it back down to temp. Optimal temperature. We're at 16 seconds off Hamilton, who's in front of the race, but pit stops are not 20 seconds in this game, so who knows. Then that's down to 13. Actually, Verstappen's pitted. So yeah, we are far off Verstappen. But those tyres are dead. I can't believe they haven't pitted. Vettel pits there. Bottas in front of this race now. We're 13 seconds off him. Hopefully we can inherit this podium. Tell Leclerc to attack and tell Ricciardo to attack. We've got to close in on Bottas here. He's just pitted for the medium, so he won't be stopping again. So he'll probably finish above us. We've got to make some serious ground up because he's not stopping. We've got to get at least 20 seconds in front of him, I reckon. I mean, we've got the tyres for him any day of the week. You'd think we'd smash him on track because he's on mediums, but he seems to nurse home the car really well on mediums. But I don't know how long they last. He's had about 51 laps on them, so they'll be like 30% mediums by the time the race finishes. But no, we can't rely on that anymore. We saw that plan fall apart early this season. But Ricciardo in a very good P2 right now. Hamilton won't be able to go to the end of the race on those softs, so if he does, they'll be absolutely dead. Everyone's got to stop again apart from Bottas pretty much. Anyone in the mediums is fine, apart from if they haven't stopped yet. So pretty much just Bottas. Everyone else has to stop. But we're in a good spot here, just chilling. Leclerc's having a bit of a rough race by the looks of it. He's down in 7th behind Alonso. Not what we want to see really. But we're well ahead of Albon, which is a bit of a strange one. He was in front of us before the pit stops, but he lost about 10 seconds on us. Especially because we came out behind him. That's strange, but we will definitely take that. Chuck the engine into medium. As you see, the tyres are keeping temperature really well. Staying in the optimal range beautifully, which is fantastic to see. We're just sort of zooming through the forest here, so we'll go with Leclerc. He's actually not that far down the road from Ricciardo. 15 seconds looks like a lot, but he's got Alonso out in front. We're going to tell him to chill out on the engine just so he can save a bit of fuel if he wants to attack him later on. Right now, the gap's not looking as big as it was to Red Bull at the start. We're still behind Mercedes as well, but look at the gap to Renault. Renault have even got a big gap in McLaren and Racing Point, and then the bottom 4 teams haven't even scored a point yet, which is insane. But we're in a good spot right now, just sort of chilling. We're not really increasing the gap to Bottas, which is a bit disappointing, but we'll deal with it. It's almost time to pit for the second and final pit stop of the race. That will where we get a real idea of where we're going to finish. We'll give it a bit longer though. It's the fuel, we're really managing this fuel really well. We're going to tell in the box now, coming on the softs for his last stop of the race, fix that suspension, add some charge, safe pit strategy, you know how we do it. And we'll pit Leclerc at the same time, just keep it nice and easy. Fix every part, you may as well, eh? Everyone else can, so we can too. Save, 4% risk. Hopefully we get a good double stop here. Riding on board Ricciardo, we're going to see him come to the pit soon. I do like watching the pit stops in this game. Here he comes, into the pit lane. Bottas will go past, hopefully we can catch him. Beautifully done, we're going to go on board Leclerc now. He's a bit further behind than I thought he was. But there we go, beautifully done. So it's 2.1 and 2.1 again. That is for 2.1 pit stops. That is fantastic when you think about it. We're going to time to push on this tyre, attack on the engine, try and make up some ground on these soft, fresh tyres. Hopefully Ricciardo can pass Albon on tracks, then it doesn't matter if he's pits again or whatever. Tell him to go neutral now. These softs are in a good range. Hopefully the temps don't drop on the neutral, or else you have to keep pushing them, which isn't good for tyre wear. Obviously you have to keep pushing the tyres to warm them up, but Albon will not be able to keep that spot with those tyres. Those tyres look just about dead already, so he'll definitely have to pit again. Hamilton might not have to pit again, so we might not get a podium today, but we'll see how we go. Chances are he will. Hopefully him and Bottas fight a bit, lose a bit of time. They are a bit. Bottas just chucked on the ERS, so we might jump on board that Mercedes battle. We're battling with Sebastian Vettel. Oh, but he's in front, that's fine. Yeah, it looks like we are going to have to push on these tyres, which isn't great for tyre wear, but we'll manage, hopefully. 29 laps to go. How long have these got? 39. Yeah, that should be fine. But we'll just keep an eye on them. If we have to, then we might have to drop out of optimal range. But Leclerc drops to 8th place. He's fighting with Vettel still. Where Albon's just been overtaken by Ricciardo. Beautifully done. And look, he's not even looking back. Albon is gone. Leclerc having a struggling race right here, even though we forced the suspension just for him, because Ricciardo literally gained 1 performance. So the suspension was all for him, and he's not really paying us back for it here. But hopefully Hamilton, I'm thinking if we're starting to look if our tyres will make it to the end of the race, Hamilton has got to not make it to the end of the race. Yeah, he went 25 seconds. He's going to have to pit again, so we're all good there. Albon pits and goes into the mediums. Very strange decision there, but Leclerc won't be able to pass him now. Leclerc's pretty much out of this race competitively. Just a bit disappointing. He's not going to score any real points today. And we're not even going to crack 300 points at this rate, but that's alright. We're just not as good at this track as we were last season, which sucks a little bit, but it's fine. So Ricciardo zooming around, just trying to cool down those tyres. So awkward, because you have to go push, chuck it into neutral as it gets close, and there we go, that'll do it. So Ricciardo's still absolutely gunning it with that engine. We're going to tell him to calm down a bit, try and save some fuel. And Verstappen pits and comes out in front of Hamilton after a pit stop. So that just shows how fast the Red Bull is. It's an absolute joke. But Hamilton has got to look at pitting soon, for damn sure. We're closing the gap to Bottas. We're about 5 seconds off him, which is pretty good. Hopefully we can look at closing that. Leclerc's got plenty of fuel to attack. We've got 17 laps to go. What's Bottas's mediums on? 41%. He'll struggle to make it to the end of this race, but I think he's gotten to the end of the race on about 10%. So Hamilton's on 33. We really need to pass both of them, because that's lost points for them and more points for us, obviously. Alonso's going to have to pit again, so hopefully... Oh, Leclerc won't be able to get him. He's too far back. Leclerc's not having the best race. Let's just be real here. He's finally got past Vettel, who's looking at pitting soon, Vettel. But, yeah, it's not been a great race for him. Hamilton is definitely out to pit. Bottas will be touch and go, I reckon, but I reckon he'll make it. Hopefully... Oh, Hamilton got past Bottas. Bottas was in that second place spot. That's fine. With 10 seconds to Hamilton. Not even that now. Just stay within that pit window. Yeah, Alonso's boxed and come out after Albon, but past Leclerc, and Hamilton's boxed, but he's 4 seconds behind us. We have plenty of fuel to push, so that's fine. Hopefully we can keep him back for that podium. It always comes down to this, someone chasing us down for something, if it's first place or podium. And usually we prevail, but I'm not so sure this time because he's got such fresher tyres. And we're right behind Bottas here. So this could be a podium either way, whether Hamilton gets past us or not. I'm hoping we get past Bottas and Hamilton stays behind. That's obviously an ideal situation. But we're in a Mercedes sandwich here, so Bottas can easily just hold us up and Hamilton will get past. And as you see there, Hamilton's already all over Daniel Ricciardo, which is a bit concerning. But hopefully we can get past Bottas either way, whether he gets past or not. It looks like it's just a matter of time until he gets past. It's all over the back of him. But he's sort of come back a little bit, but now he's right back on him again. And we're losing time, so I think we're just going to have to let him pass. Oh no, we're not really. Bottas still a second and a half down the road. Come on, Ricciardo. Use that fuel. You got so much fuel. I don't know why there's so much fuel at the end of the race. Hamilton gets past. We're going to have to stay with him here. Don't lose him. As our tyres are on 30%. I don't know how Bottas is making these tyres work. Oh, and we get past Hamilton, but no. He's on 16%. There's no way he holds that position. There's no way. Yeah, we know. Worn tyres. If we're struggling from tyre wear, imagine what Bottas is on. Harder compound. And that tyre wear is worse than ours. And there you go, he pits. Alright, my sooking's over now. Now he's on fresher tyres. Oh no, he goes into mediums again. I don't know why the AI does that, but anyway. We're going to tell him to push. Tell Leclerc to push. No, there's no point in Leclerc pushing. We're going to try and get second place off Hamilton, but it'll be a bloody good attempt. And, oh, we're going to second. Ricciardo's done it. What a champion. Hopefully he can hold on to it now. Last bend, and Ricciardo comes home in P2. Beautifully done. And we've almost traded with the Mercedes there, 26-27. That was great, considering Leclerc was never really in the race. But Ricciardo picks up the slack, and will pick up P2. Verstappen won by a country mile. We knew he was going to win about 5 seconds in, but what a race from Daniel Ricciardo there. Taking it to the Mercedes. The pit strategy was bang on there. The 2-stop before the softs. But yeah, that was a decent race for us. In a track where we haven't been as flash as I would have hoped this season, seeing as you race on it 5 times a year. But maybe that's something we can look to address with next year's car. But Red Bull with a dominant performance there. And maybe we've got to start looking towards next year. But hopefully not. We can always gauge it in the next couple races, and if we're well off the pace of Red Bull, which I don't think we will, because we've fallen behind about 30-40 points behind Red Bull or Merc before, and we've caught straight back up. We just need a couple good weekends and we're right back to them. But that being said, that was a decent race. It wasn't great. It was a bit boring in times, but a good finish there from Ricciardo and the fastest lap. 20 points for him, and he's 35 points behind Verstappen. Actually, Albon and Bottas haven't won a race. We've got 2 drivers who are in similar cars, and 2 points behind Mercedes. It's going to be a second place battle, but then we're only 10 points off first place, so it's completely fine. We're well within the fight. Let's see where our car is. It is 3rd best on grid, but look at that. We haven't had older columns this high in ages. Never. So, acceleration still lets us down a little bit. But we've got Silverstone next in 3 days, so that will be next episode. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We're obviously going to quickly design a part, actually. I forgot to do that. We'll look to try and specialize for that track. What track was it again? I'm pretty sure Hungaroring uses the same track. Yeah, it does. So what can we build in 17 days that'll help us that track? I think gearbox is out of the question. Because we're going to race that track so much time. So gearbox take 18 days, yeah. Should we build another front wing? No, that should get done in time. Wow, this is intense. There's so many components. Chuck that on. There you go. Work on the reliability. So, wow, that is a sick front wing. It'll take 10 days. Yeah, we're building that. So we're gonna have a ridiculous front wing, but that's good because that means that out of that track, like we already got a 1410, but we're looking at a 1479. Like that is a ridiculous front wing. Got an interview, racing interview, which drives better? After that performance is Ricardo. I'm going off a week by week basis for that question. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'll see you for Silverstone next time out. Leave a like if you enjoyed Daniel Ricciardo's Mercedes fight back. And if you're enjoying the series, and subscribe if you're not already, but I'm sure you already are because you're a champion. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.